What's up guys, welcome back to the channel. In this video we're working on a 2006 Mazda 6 with the V6. It's a lot of sixes. Anyway, I need to replace a starter on this car and let me show you why. Ready? And if you listen closely, you'll hear that the starter wants to engage, but it can't. Yeah, I don't know about that. That's better. Maybe sketchier, but better. So we'll go with it. Should have brought a socket and ratchet instead of a wrench, but I guess you get the point. Use a 10mm over here, remove this bolt. We'll have to remove the battery in order to access the starter, which is located kind of sort of underneath the battery. You'll only have to remove this one, because once you get that one out, you can press down, the J-hook will unhook, and you can set that aside. And now take off the negative terminal. Oh, guess that wasn't on very good. We'll have to fix that. Remove the positive. And remove the battery. And now, I really need a socket because we have to remove these two 10mm bolts that hold down the battery tray because we have to get that out. It's always a good idea to grab an extension much longer than what you actually need. Anyway. That one was loose. And with these removed and the battery tray removed, you can see the starter right here. Now we have to pop off this cover here. Okay. There's a nut right here, which holds the main power wire. 13mm socket. Let's break this nut free and remove it. Now you can slide this off. Then you can see the signal wire down here. Pull back and it should come loose. Set those aside. Now the starter is disconnected power-wise. There's no more wires attached to it, so we just have to unbolt it. In order to make some room right over here, I want to move this wiring harness that way, so when I pull the starter out, I can come out this way. So I'm going to unclip this from over here. Got a tab underneath that if you pry out on, it should unclip, and you can get the harness to come out. This is mounted on a bracket, and I think what I want to do is unbolt the bracket. It's just two 8mm bolts. Let me get a socket for those and unbolt that. Here's one of them. I know it's hard to see, but there it is. And another one right over here. All right, that gave us quite a bit of space. We can maneuver this harness around a little bit. Not a lot, but enough. All right, this is the best shot I can give you. These are the two starter bolts that need to come out. So I'm gonna sneak my extension in here. Okay, 13mm socket, get it down there. Let's break the bolts free. Alright, starter is unbolted. Now it just needs to be broken free and wiggled off of here. Of course, it's kind of seized up. Also has a dowel pin. I'm going to work it back and forth because it looks like it's breaking free. There it is. It's free. Now we just have to figure out how to get it out of here. I'm going to take this out, the bracket for the shift cable, 10mm. Okay. There's another one. Of course there's another one right underneath. Maybe I can at least break it free. Ooh, I can. Okay, pull this out of the way. And now, see if we can wiggle the starter out of here. How about if we unbolt this bracketry that doesn't do anything here? Oh, it's a dipstick. Guess it does do something. Yeah, let's unbolt that. What is this? Oh, starter wire. Another one over here. All right, let's see if this gets us anywhere. No, not far. Great. How about one more bolt? Because, you know, the more we can lose, the better. That's better, I would say. This wire needs to get out of my way now. Let's try again. I'm hoping I can slide that piece up over here. Okay. Oh. Oh. It's happening. It's happening. It happened. Here's the starter. Yay. Junk. It's trash. So let's get the new one in. And just like that, it's the next day and I have the new starter because it was supposed to show up yesterday and it didn't, of course. Anyway, I'm gonna have a link to this down in the description if you want one. If you want one. You definitely want it if it's bad. I'm gonna have a link to this in the description if you need it. So now, let's just try to fish this down back in. All right. And seat it into position. Has those two dowel pins, one on each side, that need to line up, and they just did, so that's perfect. Let's get those two bolts in. As you can see, the bolt holes line up perfectly. I'm going to use my long magnet and guide the bolts down, and hopefully I can get them to catch onto the threads. Maybe I can at least hold it down there and prevent it from coming back up. If you don't have a magnet like this, you can put a piece of a rag, paper towel, whatever you have on the end of your socket between the bolt and the socket, and then shove the bolt in there and it'll be held onto the socket. Just a little trick for you. I'm going to get these started by hand, that way there's no possibility for cross threading. This one's starting in perfectly, but I won't tighten this one yet because I need to start the other one as well. Having these wobble head extensions usually is a pain, but in this case it's coming in super handy. Alright, let's snug these up and make them nice and tight. Okay, there's one. And number two. All right, let's put everything else back together. I'm gonna put these brackets back where they belong. Tighten these up. Since I'm in this area, might as well reconnect the starter wire. Make sure the wire doesn't have corrosion on it. This one is good. Nothing, doesn't look pretty, but it's free of corrosion. The trigger wire first, the smaller one, put the mounting nut on. I'm reusing the original. The new starter comes with one, but I'm just gonna reuse this one. And snug this up, but be careful how much you tighten it because it's a brass stud and you definitely don't want to break it internally. So, you know, once you snug it, that's good. Just stop there. It's fine. Don't forget to put this cover back on. Mine broke off, but I'm still gonna try and put it on here. That protects that wire from debris and kind of sort of moisture. I mean, it's not airtight, but it still prevents water from splashing on it. Next I had this bracket over here, two 8mm bolts. Actually, before I put this in, let's put the shifter cable in, because this needs to move out of the way to get better access to the shifter cable. Alright, so put this in, which had the two 10mm bolts. Perfect, they're both started. I just noticed this right here was popped off. So we'll go ahead and clip that back in. Start with this forward one over here, because it's harder to reach. And hopefully I can get it tightened up. Okay, that one's tight. Get the socket on this other one. Tighten this one up as well. Okay, these are both tight. Now we can get the two 8mm back in for this bracket. I'm gonna put this wire back in so I can see this bolt hole a little bit better. I'm gonna use my magnet for this one also. All right, 8mm, tighten them up. And two. All right, get the battery tray in. Line it up. Let's put the two mounting nuts on. One over here and one over here. These were a 10mm mounting nut. Oh no. Make them nice and snug, but don't over tighten them because these studs are very easy to snap off. right, now let's get the battery in. Terminal doesn't look too bad, so I'm going to put this one on, and with the help of my 10mm, I'm going to tighten it up. Make sure the terminal is sitting all the way down on the battery post. You don't want it halfway up, otherwise it doesn't make a good connection. If you have one of these boots, go ahead and put it back. And now the negative, loop it around. Use your small hammer and tighten this one up as well. Okay, that's as tight as it's gonna get. Unfortunately, it's not very tight. Yeah, maybe I can beat it down a little more. Yeah, let's get that thing off. I know they help, but in this case, it hurts. Because now, see, I can get the terminal a little further down. Again, you want to use your little hammer. That is much better. Uh-oh. Okay. And one last thing is the battery hold down. Hook the hook in, clamp it down on this side. Also a 10mm. Let's start it up and see if it starts. You know what I mean. Here we go. Hey, it works. Hey, look, it works a second time too. All right, let's not use up all the starts. And just like that, it's dark now on the second day of working in the dark. Anyway, that's how it goes. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was helpful. And this was actually a much easier job than I anticipated, to be honest. I thought it was going to be a lot worse. It should take about 30-35 minutes overall if you get to do it in one go, unlike me. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope it was helpful. Share it with someone if you think they need to see this. And if not, go ahead and comment down below. Let me know what you think. And I'll see you in the next one.